the rest of life, you never know.
Well, welcome everyone. Welcome, Lama Roger. Thank you so much for leading us in our practice today. Before we get started, I just want to mention that the next event that we have coming up will be our Ask the Lama session on Saturday, May 21st from 11 to 12:30. The four faces of Buddha's love: equanimity, loving kindness, compassion, and vicarious joy. So I hope you'll be able to join us at that time. And without further ado, we will turn it over to you, Lama Roger. Thank you for being here today.
Well, thank you for managing the tech, which is always an adventure. So here we are, miraculously, somehow, through this remarkable technology, we're all together, scattered as we are around the country, and actually some different countries. So welcome, everyone. Happy Mother's Day, happy day, and happy Mother's Day to all the mothers, and happy day to everyone else. And what a miracle that we're here, we're alive. What an astounding miracle that we woke up this morning and we're actually alive. And I think almost all of us have not only alive, but have what the Tibetan Buddhists call a free and well-favored life, a life that is free of the afflictions that can prevent us practicing, and favored with the circumstances and capacities that allow us to. So it's a rare privilege. There's a wonderful meditation I like to do sometimes, which is just as getting settled to sit, just to do a reflection on all the circumstances and conditions that have to come together before we can actually get ourselves on a meditation cushion. You start thinking about it. And of course, there's health and well-being and having time and freedom and being in a country where you can actually practice any religion you want, etc. It's a long list. And those are the elements of a free and well-favored life. A long list of requirements that somehow have come together in our lives, at least for a while. Of course, none of us know for how long. So let's take advantage of this wonderful gift we have, this priceless opportunity of being together and sharing Dharma, and take some time to maybe do some practices appropriate today. First, it's Mother's Day, and second, it's a miracle day that we're alive, and third, it's a day in which we're all probably more aware than usual because of the tragedy in Ukraine of the extent of conflict and suffering in the world. Ukraine, of course, is getting our attention, and deservedly so, but there are so many other conflicts in the world. There are so many other people suffering in so many ways. So given the combination of Mother's Day and the state of the world, which is an expression of the First Noble Truth of that there's suffering. Suffering is a part of life, and particularly of any non-dharmic and unenlightened life. So maybe bringing those together, it felt to me like it might be beautiful to spend some time doing some of the Brahma-Vihara practices. And the Brahma-Viharas come to us from the classic Theravadan tradition, or classic roots of Buddhism, taught by the Buddha, actually even derived from the yogic tradition into which he was born. And they are the cultivation of four of the most, what are called the sublime states, some of the most beautiful and ecstatic, potentially ecstatic if we do them very deeply, but some of the most sublime states of heart-mind that we can induce in relative reality. There are, of course, remarkable openings that are possible to us into the absolute, into pure awareness, for example. But within our relative world, where most of us live most of our time, these four qualities of heart and mind, these sublime abodes or divine abodes, as they actually translate, are some of the most exquisite and sublime that we can cultivate. And they're the four qualities of loving kindness or metta, the quality, heart-mind quality of karuna, compassion, the quality of empathic joy, joy in the joy of others. And then the fourth is equanimity, the great equanimity, which is able to hold each of these emotions and all emotions within the expanse of awareness so that they don't overpower us and lead us down roads that aren't so helpful, but allow us to hold with equanimity a full range of human experience. And that affords a stability and calm and clarity of mind, which are both expressions of and conducive to the other qualities and the capacities of virtues, the beautiful qualities of heart and mind that we aspire to develop. So let's focus on the four divine abodes, the Brahma Viharas today. And we can begin by just taking a moment to cultivate gratitude. Gratitude's a very beautiful quality, and of course, it's an element of practice in actually, I think every tradition I can think of. And it's practiced for many reasons. One, of course, to just as a reminder of how fortunate our lives are and all the blessings that we that support us and allow us to live. But also it has some beautiful qualities in heart and mind. Gratitude reduces defensiveness. It reduces the barriers to love. It leads to a flowering of joy and really facilitates the open-heartedness that allows us to more fully open to love and compassion and joy. So gratitude's a beautiful way to begin practically any practice, but for the Brahma Viharas in particular. So let's begin by just taking a moment to reflect on our lives and all the blessings that are in them. Yes, all life has suffering, all life has challenges. There's no end to them. And the other side of that is all the blessings. All the blessings. The health we have, the faculties we have that allow us to practice, the opportunity to practice, the community of people on the path, this community, this Sangha, everyone supporting one another. And just, if you like, just feel a sense of gratitude in your heart. A sense of being blessed. And perhaps you'd like to put your awareness into that feeling of blessing. And notice that as with any beneficent quality of heart and mind, if you bring attention to it, it tends to flourish, to expand. That's the beauty of awareness. When we bring awareness to painful, destructive qualities of heart, mind, they tend to dissolve. When we bring them to positive qualities, they tend to expand. So with that feeling of gratitude, blessing, Just take a moment to think of someone you care for deeply. And just wish them well. And if you like, you could repeat a phrase of your choice. I like the phrase, may you be happy, loving, loved. May you be happy, loving, loved. Holding that person you care for in awareness and just wishing that they be happy, loving, and loved. And think of a group of people you care for. And extend that same wish for them. May you be happy, loving, loved. May you be happy, loving, loved. And be aware of our community here, that there are hundreds of people watching at this moment, part of our community. I wish them all well. Just as I desire to be happy, may all of you be happy, loving, loved. And it's Mother's Day, so let's think of all the mothers in the world, caring as best they can, loving and as best they can for their children. May all the mothers in the world be happy, loving, loved. May they be happy. May they love as fully as they can. And may they be loved. And now expand your circle of awareness to encompass the entire planet. Embrace everyone on the planet in your loving wishes. May all people be happy, loving, loved. May all people be happy, loving, and loved. What a different world it would be if that was so. And just embracing, holding the entire planet in your awareness and every person on it. May all people, without reservation, without limitation, May all people be happy, loving, and loved. And extend and encompass even more. May all conscious creatures be happy. May they be safe. May they be free. May all conscious creatures be happy. So now you're embracing all life within your good wishes. There is no limit to the good you wish for all creatures. And there can be something really remarkable when there's no limitation on one's love and care. May all conscious beings, may all beings be happy, joyous, loving, loved. And bring your awareness back to our community, the people who you can see on this website, on this Zoom, the people who are tuning in through Facebook and other media. Bring your awareness to our Sangha right now. And again, just wish that everyone in the Sangha, everyone in this community right now, be happy, loving, and loved. And now take a moment to recognize that every single person in this community is wishing that you be happy, loving, and loved. And let that in. Every single person in this community right now is wishing that you be happy, that you be able to love fully and unreservedly, and that you be loved just the way you deserve, fully, without hesitation or reservation. Let that in. That the whole community at this moment is wishing you well. Beautiful. Beautiful. And love has this beautiful quality of taking on different qualities as it meets people in different circumstances. So that warmth and care in its general expression is loving kindness. But when that warmth and care meets suffering, it expresses as compassion. So now just think of someone who is suffering, someone you care for. Allow yourself to become aware of their suffering. And to the extent we can open to suffering defenselessly and openly, to that extent it automatically gives birth to compassion. Compassion is an automatic response of care to an undefended awareness of suffering. So think of that person, friend, family member who's you care for, who's suffering. I wish that they may be free of all suffering. You might wish to repeat to yourself a phrase such as, may you be free of pain and sorrow. May you be free of pain and sorrow. And feel the melting in the heart, the tenderness that comes with wishing another be free of pain and sorrow. May you be free of pain and sorrow. And now open up more to a community that's been very much in our hearts and minds, the Ukraine, people in Ukraine, all the suffering there. And just hold them in your care. I wish that they be free of suffering. And you may, as you hold them in awareness, just repeat the phrase, may you be free of pain and sorrow. May you be free of pain and sorrow. And each repetition of a phrase like that tends to strengthen compassion. Or as with any of these Brahma-Vihara practices, you may get more of the quality you're cultivating, or what may rise into awareness is a block or a barrier of some kind. Perhaps a feeling it's too much, I can't do it. And it's fine that those blocks and barriers come up into awareness, because that's how they can be healed and released. So if there are blocks and barriers that come up, fine, no problem. Just let them be there, be aware of them, and just continue the phrase, may you be free of pain and sorrow. Just holding all those people suffering, both the oppressed and the oppressors, all suffering in their own way. And now expand your awareness and heart to embrace the entire planet and the extent of suffering in the world, conflicts, hunger, homelessness, so much. May all people be free of pain and sorrow. May all people be free of pain and sorrow. And now include all conscious creatures, all life. May all beings be free of pain and sorrow. May all beings be free of pain and sorrow. So now there's no limit on our compassion and care. May all beings be free of pain and sorrow. May all beings be free of pain and sorrow. And now bring your awareness back to our community again. I wish that each person in our community, each person with us right now, may you be free of pain and sorrow. May you be free of pain and sorrow. And again, just take a moment to let in the fact that everyone in our community is wishing as wholeheartedly as they can that you be free of all pain and sorrow. All these people caring for you, wishing you well, hoping, praying that you be free of all pain and sorrow. Let it in. Let it in that you are cared for, and that as much as they can, each person here is wishing you be free of pain and sorrow. Beautiful. And just take a few breaths and feel any residual feelings from those practices. I notice for myself, I feel more tender, sensitive, warm, caring. What's true for you, and whatever's true for you is fine. You may feel caring, and warm, and loving, compassionate, or you may be aware of the blocks to those. Either is fine. Just let them all be in awareness. And we were talking about how love takes on different qualities, kind of like a crystal when it meets people in different experiences. And when loving kindness meets people who are happy, it delights in that. It experiences joy itself. This is empathic joy, joy at the joy of another. So think of someone you care for who is happy, whose life is favored, free, and just open to their happiness and feel what happens in your own heart mind. Notice that if you really let in their happiness and joy, if you let in the happiness and joy of someone you care for, you just tend to feel joyful yourself. This is empathic joy. And you might care to repeat the phrase, how wonderful. How wonderful. How wonderful that you're happy. And now think of our community. All these people with us now, whose lives, everyone has suffering, but for the most part, our lives are very fortunate. There are occasions for lots of occasions, opportunities for happiness, for joy. Recognize the happiness and joy in these people's lives and celebrate. How wonderful. How wonderful. And notice what that does, that how wonderful tends to fill the heart mind with joy. How wonderful. And now expand your awareness to include the whole planet and all people. And yes, there's enormous suffering, but there's also enormous joy. And think of all the people who are experiencing happiness and joy of various kinds. And of the little spark of joy that lightens the pain in other lives. And just celebrate the happiness and joy that people around the world are experiencing right now. How wonderful. How wonderful that all these people are happy. How wonderful. And feel the joy that comes into your own heart as you delight in the joy of others. And think of all life, encompass the whole planet and all life. And the happiness and joy in whatever form it takes in any creature. How wonderful that there are these opportunities for joy. How wonderful. No limit on your delight with the happiness of others. And now again, just take a few breaths, holding that. Just take a few breaths. And again, keep your awareness open to the entire planet. And realize you've just experienced and held and nurtured love and compassion and joy for all beings on this planet. And now notice the awareness in which this love and joy and compassion arise. All of them arise in vast space, in limitless awareness, boundless awareness. All these qualities of heart and mind are arising within awareness. And that awareness can hold these beautiful, sublime qualities. And it can hold any quality of heart and mind. And this awareness is not touched or changed in any way by any of those emotions or by any experience. It encompasses and embraces them all. Aware of everything, changed by nothing. The vast sky of awareness in which all experiences arise. This is the vast expanse of equanimity. Equanimity is the imperturbability in the face of challenging stimuli. So we can cultivate these qualities of heart and mind and know that at the same time they are held within the vast space of awareness. And we can know that any experience is held in the vast space of awareness. And that it can hold, embrace, allow any experience without being changed or challenged by it in any way. And take a moment to sharpen that awareness. That is, be really aware right now. So that awareness is bright and sharp and clear. More likely to be able to notice thoughts and feelings and images as they arise and not get caught into them. It's that sharpness of awareness which allows us to recognize whatever arises in the mind and to let it pass through the mind without awareness becoming entrapped and constricted within those mental arisings. This is freedom. This is clarity. This is equanimity. all available at any moment. Any moment when we simply remember and recognize, oh yes, awakened awareness is here now. So we cultivate these sublime qualities of love and compassion and empathic joy and equanimity. And over time, they become more stable ways of being and relating. Such beautiful qualities. How different the world would be if these were greater parts of everyone's heart and mind. So, and as we come back to our community, see if you can just maintain this open awareness and any softness of heart that has occurred as a result of our practice. Let them come back with you and embrace whatever we hear and discuss and share together. Oh, it's such a gift to do those practices. I spent a month in a little cell in which I could reach out and touch the walls doing these practices, and it was the most ecstatic month of my life. When you're doing these continuously from the first thought of the day, may you be happy, joyous, loving, peaceful, and the last thought before you fall asleep. And every moment in between, they just take on a mental momentum, which is extraordinary, and build into this powerful love and care and joy that is quite beyond anything we usually experience. But they're beautiful at any level. It's nice even just to get a taste of and a touch as we did today. So would anyone like to comment or question?
Nothing has come in yet, Lama, but we will see. I'll let you know.
Would anyone like to share anything from their experience? Well, we have a nice thank you from Judith. Thank you, Judith. Judith, is there anything you'd like to share? You don't have to, but if you would, or if anyone would like to. Ten Lang? Looks like we've got someone trying.
Lama, we have a comment from Mel and Carol Pine that they found, or one of them found themselves breathing in the Sangha's love, breathing out love to the Sangha.
Beautiful. Yeah, and that's something you can do. You can actually time these to the breath. So that, and of course, some of you will have done that with the taking and sending practice or the tunneling practice, but you can do these practices with the rhythm of the breath. So it sounds like you spontaneously discovered that. Yeah, beautiful. Let's see. Terry Lang raised a hand, so.
Okay.
Think you
Oh, there we
muted,
go.
Terry.
I'm having a hard time unmuting myself.
All right, you succeeded.
Well, it's great to see you, Roger.
A pleasure.
So I found of the 4 practices that the most blockage came up with empathic joy. And how do I cultivate or explore what that sense of, I would have to call it jealousy, comes up when I see other people happy or successful or content. And so that's the one that brought up the most blockage for me, actually.
Well, beautiful that you saw that. And yes, you're exactly right. And jealousy and empathic joy are opposites. And empathic joy is the antidote to jealousy. We all have, jealousy is a very natural reaction, the universal reaction, one of the five challenges. But so how to work with that? A couple of things come to mind. One is, you mentioned you were aware of that block, so you could have that, you had that feeling. And I'm sure if you were to bring attention, awareness to it, you would find it's a kind of tension, contraction, constriction of some kind. So one thing you can do is simply hold the awareness of that tension, contraction. Or you don't have to even do anything with it. You just allow it to be an awareness. And awareness in and of itself is healing. It's one of the beauties of awareness. It literally, in and of itself, it is healing. And so if you just allow that sense of block, contraction, constriction, and be aware of it, it will tend over time, give it enough time and care, it'll relax and release. You want to take another step, you can actually direct love, loving kindness to the jealousy. It's like, okay, well, it's a need, it wants something, so give it some love and kindness. Another thing you can do is bring the awareness even closer into it. So if you put your awareness right in the heart of the center of that feeling of jealousy, constriction, contraction, what I'm willing to bet you'll find happens is that there'll be, you'll become aware of some thoughts associated with it, some beliefs, like if they're, maybe it's, and probably limiting beliefs, such as, if they're happy, I can't be, or, something like that, or what's wrong, there's something wrong with me that I'm not happy and they are, etc. So you become aware of those thoughts, and by, again, bringing those thoughts into awareness, they tend to, those are underlying limiting beliefs, and if you allow them to come up into awareness, they tend to release. And it's like, oh, that doesn't make any sense. It's like, I don't need that. I'd say one of the most frequent insight I've had over 40 years of practice is, oh, I don't need to do that. So that, and then you can just simply continue to do the practice to the extent you continue to do the empathic joy. Just, it will what's called reciprocally inhibit the jealousy. So it will reduce it. So those are several ways of working with it. But thank you very much for sharing that. I'm sure you're not alone. I'm sure we've all experienced that. Nima, are we coming to the end of our time?
Yes, Lama, thank you so much for that beautiful practice. I know you're getting a lot of feedback in the chat, a lot of thank yous if you want to take a look at those. So I appreciate you being with us today and hope to see you again soon. And thank you to all of you for being here today. And happy Mother's Day. Remember, if you want to check out what's happening, go to zogen.org. You can see all of our programs that are coming up. And appreciate your generosity supporting the foundation and supporting Lama's mission of transmission. So have a wonderful day and be well. Join us next week if you can.
Yes.
Have a good day, everyone.